are turning their lives around for the better. And Sam Lewis, Sam, I hope you're around here. Sam Lewis, there you are. Sam Lewis, he's a former offender, but he serves as the project coordinator for Friends Outside in Los Angeles County. In this role, he coordinates outreach and services to the reentry population and their families, working in collaboration with other organizations. As a former inmate now, Sam, he understands the various struggles that the reentry population faces. While serving time, Sam worked for PIA Industries and learned multiple job skills and received industry-recognized certifications. Sam, he earned an associate's degree in paralegal studies from Kaplan College. He also earned a specialized associate's degree in business management, and he's working on completing his bachelor's of science degree in business administration this year. Please give a big round of applause for Sam Lewis.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for coming out this morning. And thank you for this opportunity to speak on behalf of previously incarcerated men and women on our transferable employment skills. Let me tell you a little about myself before I move forward. As a teenager, I did some things I'm truly remorseful for, and I was sentenced to state prison and served 24 years inside. While incarcerated, my journey to change took time, and it wasn't easy, but the opportunities were available. When I started off, I was an angry high school dropout, semi-literate, and when I say semi-literate, I look back at some old letters that I sent to my mom, and the spelling is atrocious. I earned my GED while inside, and that was my first step to understanding or seeing the window of change and opportunity that's there inside. After I completed my associate's degree, I went into PIA. I worked in 4 different PIAs inside. I worked in PIA textile mills, PIA laundry, PIA furniture factory, and PIA optical lab. While in PIA optical lab, I learned inventory control. I became the lead inventory control clerk. This was a transferable skills, and I use this one as an example because it led to my first job upon release. I worked at a store called Unleashed by Petco, and we were the second largest, or our sales were second in the region. So we had a huge inventory turnover. It was a lot, and that was one of our problems. We would run out of inventory sometimes. And in retail, if you really understand, if you run out of inventory, you might lose the sale for the day, but the potential loss is the loss of a customer for life. They can go to your immediate competition. So my understanding and ability of perpetual inventory led to my first promotion at Petco. Now, that was my first job, but it wasn't the job that I truly wanted. But those skills allowed me to get a job within 90 days of being released. And it could have been sooner, and I'll explain to you sooner some of the difficulties in obtaining that employment, but it could have been sooner. One of the things was my resume. I had a 5-page long resume. It had all my PIA skills on it. It was a book. So one of the things that I learned while working at Petco was a lot of things that I didn't get while at PIA were things that I needed from a CBO. Now, there are intangible skills that I picked up in PIA, and they mentioned some of them on the video. Be on time, teamwork, safety first. When you work in the industry, safety first. And then you have the opportunity for a lot of different certifications. What I didn't learn in PIA was proper dress. And inside you're wearing blue jeans and blue shirts for 24 years, that becomes a part of your habit almost. But learning the proper job etiquette and things of those nature were things that I didn't get in PIA, which I got through CBOs outside in my community. Other things, the other intangibles that I got, or actually tangibles, were various certifications. Forklift certification and training, OSHA safety training and certification, which is vitally important in industries. They talked about employability training. Now, part of that employability training is actually understanding when you go to an employer to be on time. Not 15 minutes late, not a minute late. On time as you're training PIA is a half hour early. That's on time. Intangible skills that employers will also receive from men and women that are coming from incarceration that have been in PIA, and these are truly intangible. One, you get a workforce that's loyal because you're given a second opportunity, you're given a second chance. Two, you'll find workers that come out of PIA will work hard and they'll be on time. Those are two things that you have to have while in PIA. The consistency in PIA and all of the different learning teaches you it's almost effortless when you go into work. I know what I need to do. Let me do my job. Let me do it not just good, but let me do it great. And you're recognized for those things in PIA. So when you transfer out into society, you want to be able to use those same skills that you mastered inside. So an employer, and this is what it's about, employers, when you pick up a man or woman who's done work in PIA, these are the things that you're going to get. Not just a skilled labor force, but a person that understands to be on time, a person that's loyal, a person that's going to work hard for you. Now, those are the parts that are vitally important, but there's one last part that's also important to getting into the job, and this is what I call the bridge. When you step out of incarceration, especially if you spent any time inside, 24 years, there are a lot of different things that have changed. What's a flash drive? I didn't know what a flash drive was. PowerPoint, Excel, all of those things are vitally important. How do I actually create my resume on a Word document? What's a Word document? This is the reality of the transfer from inside to outside. Because what I have to do, I need to be able to upload, more often than not, my resume with the application online. What's online? These are the services that we do at Friends Outside. And other community-based organizations do these services. This is what we do. We prepare our men and women to not just go into a job, but to what is job professionalism, job etiquette, proper dress, all of those things. We kind of like polish the stone, so to speak. You have a finished product when our clients or our participants come in. Because a lot of times, you're working inside of a prison, it's a subculture. So some of the etiquette, yes ma'am, no ma'am, yes sir, please, some of that is kind of, it's not important. We need to get the job done. Hand me that tool now, get it over here. Sometimes that might not be appropriate depending on the line of employment that you're going into. So prepping our participants to do those things. And one of the other things that we always teach our clients is to remember this. The thinking that you may have adopted inside is something that you have to completely let go of. See, inside, one of the things that you look at is this. I mind my own business and I don't tell. And I'll survive this. In society, when there's theft, it hurts the entire organization. It hurts the entire company. So as an employee, it's my responsibility to report that. So changing that thinking is also vitally important. And these are some of the things that we do in our job readiness workshop. You're now a member of society again. To be a positive, productive member of society, that thinking has to change. You have to go back into taxpayer mode. Especially if you were young. As a teenager, I had no job skills. I didn't know how to actually act when I went in and started working. So I just, okay, let me do my job and just be quiet. And even being a little bit too quiet, you need to be sociable. You need to be able to communicate with your coworkers. You need to be able to establish those relationships so that you build a strong team. And that transition and you gel together, it makes all the difference in the world when you're especially if it's a small organization or a small store. It makes all the difference in the world. Because the people that come to work for you, when I worked at Petco, everybody loved when I worked there. The reason why is because we went to work, we went, and the day went by. And it wasn't just hard work. We laughed, we joked, but we got the work done and we were safe about it. And understanding what we had to do, and understanding that we could talk if it was difficult, what don't I understand, let's communicate. So all of those things are also parts that we do in our job readiness workshops. Included is a lot of the information that was given for the work sources. The Workers' Opportunity Tax Credit. We make sure that our men and women, when they apply for a job, that they disclose that they've been previously incarcerated. And we're looking for that second chance. Me, myself, I'm a believer and an advocate for second chances. Because without a second chance, I wouldn't be standing here before you today. January 6th of this year, I closed on my first house. And that's because of the community-based organizations, PIA, even the prison system. I was in the prison system and I hated it, but I had a debt to pay to society. And those opportunities were there to change me. The person that you see before you today, this is not the angry 17, 18-year-old kid that didn't know what he wanted to do in life, who was just mad at the world. I'm an entirely different person. That's because those opportunities were presented to me and I took advantage of them. In addition to that, I had the opportunity out here. The work source, that's how I actually came to Friends Outside, through OJT. This is the type of work that I wanted to do. I wanted to help men and women that were released from incarceration find employment, transition back into society, get all of the wraparound services that they need, and never go back inside and understand, you know what? Life is beautiful. Live it to your fullest. Give back, and remember what you give back is going to come back tenfold. Don't expect it, it's just going to happen. In our current project, Ms. Solis spoke about the grants that we're giving out. We're just closing out our Department of Labor grant. We enrolled 446 men and women. Currently, we have 268 men and women that are working. 78% of them continue to work 9 months to a year after we placed them. They want to work.
That data right there. That's what they want.
A couple of our men and women came here this morning. They couldn't stay because they had to go to work. But they wanted to come here. They wanted to know that this is what's going on. And when they go to work, they made it to work on time because they only stayed for a minute. But my point is, they came here and they were like, is there anything we can do? They're examples of what can happen if we all work together. I just received a promotion as the employment supervisor at Friends Outside. Thank you to my director, Mary Weaver. For the opportunity, my coworker Ernest Melendrez taught me a lot. And to the companies out there, the employers that are not certain right now, trust me when I tell you, you're going to get a workforce that's unbelievable, because when we send people, we always get the employer, they call back and say, do you have some more guys? Can you send us some more men and women? We have these slots. Do they have these skills? And if we don't have those skills, we do partnership, we do collaborations. We'll call one of our partners and say, do you have people that have these particular skills? And if we can't find anybody, okay, what can we do to set up some skills training in that specific area? That transition between PIA and the community-based organizations and the job readiness is vitally important for that transition out of incarceration into full-time employment and living life like a dream. Thank you for your time.